Hello everyone. Today we're going to be making a little face to see how we can use gradients to sort of make our images pop a little, give them some roundness and volume. So I'm just going to be using a few simple shapes and make a little face. First thing I'm going to do is enable the page grid. And I have snapping enabled. It's not necessary for this, but I just like to use it. And if you don't have it enabled and you want it, you can just go Control-Shift-D to go to the document properties, go over to the Snap tab, and always snap to grids. So we're just going to be making a face that's some kind of rectangle shape with rounded edges. That should be fine. And we're going to change the color of this. We're going to make a green guy. Okay, and actually we're going to color this already the color that we want for a shadow on this guy. It'll just make things a little bit easier later. And then we're going to give him some eyes, which are not showing up right now because they're the same color as his skin. So we go to fill, and we're going to make these an off-white. And we're going to make them a bluish off-white. Make another one over there, just to make sure that lines up correctly. And then we're going to add some pupils here. And these are going to be off black. And these we want a warmer color, so we can just go all the way to yellow. And make them something like this. We can just duplicate that, Control-D, duplicate. And unfortunately it is an odd number of things, so it doesn't snap to the grid correctly. So we have to zoom in when that happens. If we make an object that's an odd number of squares across. And then we're going to add a little bit of reflection in his eye. And so it's going to be, we want this to be off-white, but we want it to be warm color, and we want it to be lighter than this, than the white of the eye. And we can just create another one over here. And then we can also do the same thing on the white of the eye, just a little bigger. And what this indicates is that we have a light source that's sort of up and to the right of the character. So we can go back in here, and remembering where our light source is, we can make this in the fill tab. We can do linear gradient, and at first it's going to show you this, which is the color we had selected before, fully opaque on the left, and then fully transparent on the right. So to fix that, we're going to go to Edit Gradient, and it'll give us these two handles here. And on the right, we're going to turn the alpha value all the way up so that it's fully opaque. And then we're going to select a warmer green, maybe like this, and make it lighter. And if you'll notice, this isn't very literal, right? We have a light source on the face that seems to be coming directly from the right, and then the light source on the eyes seems to be coming from up and to the right. But we don't have to be overly literal, and we can also indicate this upper right light source by adding another shape and with a gradient to the face. Something like this. And just go back to linear gradient. And this time we're going to drag this handle to the top. And we're just going to leave the bottom handle fully transparent over here. And the top handle we're going to make, again, lighter and warmer. So let's see how that looks without the grid. If you're going to use a grid, it's important to turn off the grid from time to time. That way you can see what your thing will look like without the kind of graying effect that the grid has on the image. And yeah, this is looking pretty good. So we can turn the grid back on, and we can try to give him some kind of indication of a nose. And again, I'm just going to be using simple shapes here instead of using Bezier curves or anything like that. So just a little rectangle with rounded edges like this, and then maybe something like this, and we can just make it something like the shadow color over here. And let's actually take this shape and stretch it this way, and let's put a gradient on that shape. And this time we're going to use this same gradient we used up here, but we're going to put the bright part at the bottom, so it looks kind of like the nose is popping forwards. That's sort of the way noses reflect light in the real world. And we can also actually drag this up a little. Drag this up so that it's overlapping. Gives us a pretty nice effect. I think I want to make this rectangle a little thinner. Maybe even like this. And yeah, that looks pretty all right. So we can also add a little bit of shadow to the eyes. This will give it a more cartoony look. It just depends what you're going for. To do that, what we can do is duplicate this, the circular eye white shape, and then we can cut a little bit of that away. And to do that, we're going to draw a bigger circle. Then we're going to select that first shape, then select the second shape, go to Path, Difference, and now you don't see the shape yet, but it's there. And we're going to go over to Fill, and we're going to just darken it a little bit. Something like that. It's not perfect, but it gets the idea across for now. And then it's actually going to be difficult to just duplicate that and move it over, but we can actually do something better here. We can do the same idea, but instead we're going to make this shape over here a little thinner than this shape over here. And that's going to also sort of help indicate the roundness of his face. So again, we go to Path, Difference, and then we just choose the same color. And there we go. We have a little face. Actually, let's just give him a little mouth. You can give him a little smile. Just a simple 2-node Bezier curve. And we can make it the color of his eyes. Then we go to stroke style. I'm not sure what size we're working with, so we'll just mess around with it till we get something that's a good size. And we're going to make rounded caps for the ends. Drag this down. Just drag these handles around till they look good. And there we have a little face. Thank you for watching.